everybody. I'm being joined by Shaman Isabella of the Orange County Healing Center today. Thank you for joining me. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. It's really nice weather today, and I'm in Utah. You're in
Oh,
California.
wow. Yeah. Where in Utah?
I'm in Syracuse, so that's like 20 minutes north of Salt Lake. I don't know if you've been.
Yeah. I have a friend in Moab, and I have friends right now in Ogden.
Oh
Is
yeah,
that right? Yeah.
yeah.
I've been trying to get up there, so maybe you're the catalyst to get me.
That's uh
Yeah.
that's very strange because yesterday I interviewed a guy and he had ties to Ogden, so that was
Well, we
a
just found our connection with Pocatello in Moscow, Idaho. So we're
yeah,
like, oh, and that's synchronicity.
yeah.
The synchronistic moments we're looking for.
Especially since just it was like 2 days ago that I even heard of that town. So that was
I don't
that's
say Moscow. I say Moscow.
Moscow. Yeah, that was
They'll really think you're.
like I know what I'm talking about, huh?
Right?
Well, so just real quick, a little about me, just so you understand, is I had a huge healing journey in my life, and that's really what sparked a lot. Well, I had interest in health and wellness before, but it majorly shifted after I was having a lot of health issues and doctors couldn't find out what was they couldn't diagnose me. I ended up going alternative route and I found out I had Lyme disease, right?
Wow. Yeah.
And I did treat it alternatively, and it was about 3 years of seeing a lot of different people and trying a lot of different things, and I had great success, and I just
Wonderful.
became very passionate um, about healing and alternatives to modern medicine and big pharma.
And what about the metaphysical aspect of it? Did you just focus on the alternative medicine and herbal and things, or did you look at like the root cause and the metaphysics or what could have happened that brought this on?
Not in great detail. I've read a lot about metaphysics, but I didn't have somebody out of everybody that I had my resources and people that were helping me. I didn't have somebody like that. Unfortunately, so I don't know a ton about that, and
Well, we
what,
could talk a little bit about that.
yeah, yeah, and what direction that could have taken me, or what that would have looked like. But yeah, you can definitely enlighten us.
Well, I don't know if I can enlighten you. You can enlighten yourself. But I believe that everything that's ever happened to us creates a memory imprint on our light body. So we have this physical body, but we also have this energy body. And it's becoming more and more okay to say that. Like when I opened up the Orange County Healing Center as my home in 2009, it was like, it was not okay to really talk about it. You could talk about certain things, but you couldn't talk about everything. And I get that, when I first really, I mean, I've always believed in metaphysics, but I was at the Church of Religious Science, which is not to be confused with Scientology. It's Ernest Holmes' work. But when he started talking about different planes of existence, I left. I was like, yeah, that's more than I can handle. So you can only handle as much as you can handle until you can handle more. Now, of course, if an alien ship landed on the front lawn, I'd go, of course, there's an alien ship on the front lawn. Not that I invest my time in aliens, but I'm just saying you can only believe in what you can believe in until you can believe in more. So now it's becoming more known that we have an energetic field. We've always had the energetic field. If you put your hands together, like this, and you feel the energy, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people are so cut off from themselves and being in the present moment that they don't feel their own energy. They put their hands up and they say, I don't feel anything. Rub them together, come back to yourself, become more in the present time. So going back to what I was saying about everything that's ever happened to us creates this memory imprint on our light body. Sometimes it can come from physical trauma, and sometimes it can come from emotional trauma. So things that happened to us in our childhood, things that we're courted to, things that were traumatic for us. It's not always that way. And for those of us that believe in past lives, then it can also come from a past life. So we carry it into this life because we haven't learned the lesson yet. And so to me, that's the metaphysics of it, is what it is that happened to me in a past life or in my childhood that's creating this now physical imprint in my body. And so that's the work I do. I go in and I help people recognize what that is. And I do something called present day soul retrieval. I also do past life soul retrieval. Courses and online classes and cards that I developed. But for you, because you've cured it and you've come out on the other side, it might be interesting for you to look at, like, well, what was that? What happened to me that could have triggered this? What I found with women, especially older women, when they get sick, like something like that happens, it's because they were such givers and they gave and they gave and they gave their whole life. And then they needed to rest. They needed to stop. They needed to stop moving. And so the body just said, well, here you go. We're going to give you the opportunity to stop, because we're going to give you some kind of physical ailment or, hurt yourself in some way. And then they have to stop. And they come to me and we figure out what it is. And
somebody actually told me that once, exactly what you just said is, and I had wondered, along these lines of myself, as far as somebody told me that what you need, what your body mind needs, if you don't voluntarily get it, it will be forced upon you, right? Like, and and so I wondered, so I spent years of my life, high stress, pursuing all of these goals, mostly financial goals, and I spent years of my life that way. I had adrenal fatigue, had all these different complications along the way. And anyway, I wonder if,
well, don't wonder. 100%. Don't wonder. That's what it was. That's what it was. And it made you slow down, right? It made you take a look at your life. It gave you a spiritual awakening. It introduced you to alternative medicine. And now here you are doing podcasts. Like, fantastic. Right?
Yeah.
If we can look back at what happened to us and go, fantastic, rather than holy cow, guilt, shame, remorse, whatever, that keeps us stuck in that same old cycle. But when we can be grateful and hold a higher vibration and say, wow, thank goodness that happened, because now I get to be this person instead.
Right. No, I definitely, I definitely don't like to look at things in a negative way, like you're saying. So yeah, I prefer to see the positive in things and what happened. And, yeah, it is what it is, right? It's, we all have things in life. I did want to talk a little bit about the Orange County Healing Center, and I was wondering if you could share a bit about your role and how it fits into the bigger picture at Orange County Healing Center.
So I'm asked if you can hear that, because don't have my phone, whatever, computer, and it's like there's blinking things coming in. So I'm hoping it didn't disturb did you hear anything just now?
It was very, very, it was subtle. I heard something, but it was really very subtle.
Let me try so that it doesn't disturb us again too. Let's see if that works. It's not easy being 65 and in this new fangled era. The Orange County Healing Center and the role I play. Well, I'm a one-woman show. So the Orange County Healing Center has a big name. Is an acting teacher at Fullerton College. And the woman, and I was just like, I'd been studying this for like 3 years, and I'd gone to Peru, and I was about to take my first group to Peru. And I was just like interested in shamanism, interested in energy medicine, but not to be one. Like, no, I had no intention of this as a job. Like, I degree, and I was, teaching. And the head of the marketing department said to me that, it's 2009, right? She said, go on GoDaddy and look for the Orange County Healing Center. Get the domain name Orange County Healing Center. And I said, there's no way that's not gone. And she said, go home and do it. And the reason is because this woman was Christian and had told me her little boy was having terrible headaches. And I told her, you have light that comes out of the palm of your hands. Take that light, put it on your child's head at night, and trust that his headaches will go away. And they went away. And so she was all about me, just on that one little thing. She's like, you are onto something. To me, it's like a no-brainer. To me, it's like, well, my mom used to say that she had light coming out of her hands and put it on a girl's head and her headache went away. So I was raised this way. So for me, it wasn't like some big thing. But for her, she was like, you've got to go get this name. So I went home and it wasn't gone. I thought, wow. So I purchased, the Orange County Healing Center and slowly began to, see clients and take people on spiritual journeys. And, at the beginning, I did it for donations. I would, nothing. It built. And what I got from that, even though I was so insecure, I have a hell of a story that if you want to have me share, but if you go to my YouTube channel, which is, I think, Isabella Stoloff or Shaman Isabella, there's lots of YouTubes over the past 15 years. And there I talk a lot about my past and my 20-year crazy life. And so I was really still, even though I had gotten my life together in 1991 and, gone back to school and gotten together, there was still a piece of me that was missing. I still had a big problem with insecurity, not feeling good enough, caring what everybody else thought of me, and, still pushing myself forward. But it was challenging. And this work, brought me back to myself. If I can say anything about what I do for people is I bring them back to themselves. I'm like a piano tuner that tunes the piano so that you're, I use woo-woo language, but so that you're vibrating at the highest frequency possible, so that you are in your own divine line, so you know who you are, you're confident in who you are. And that takes time, right? And I have been working at that from 1991 until 2006 when I had my first healing. And so in 2009, when I was opening this up, I was still really insecure. But each person that came and got better, each person that came to me and was like, wow, I don't know what you just did to me, but I feel completely different, gave me that confidence that I needed, and I still continue with my own healings. And people say, well, why would I come back? You keep going? Because it feels good. That's why, because I like the way I feel after, and I need like a little attunement or boost, especially in today's society and with what's going on. But so I started doing fire ceremonies out of the house. I started doing classes out of the house. I had healer training programs. I took people to Egypt, Greece, Peru, times England, to all the sacred sites, Bali last year. Every year I think, okay, that's it. I'm not going to do it again. And then Spirit goes, no, take people to Bali. So yeah, it's been a wild ride, man. I can't believe it's been as long as it's been. Feels like yesterday.
Wow. Yeah. That's, I didn't realize you were doing all the traveling as well. You said something interesting earlier about, feeling the energy between your hands. And years ago, probably when was that? I mean, it had to have been probably 18 years ago. So I grew up in doing martial arts, and a lot of that moved into, Japanese martial arts. And anyway, I ended up getting certified in Reiki 18 years ago, and
oh, wow. Yeah.
And one of the, I don't know if you've heard of Taggart King, but that's who my mentor was. But I was doing a practice of trying to feel energy between my hands, right? And I was sitting there for 45 minutes and doing this, and finally just thinking this is BS. Why am I doing this? And then all of a sudden I started feeling it, and then I started trying to justify. I was like, oh, I think maybe because my hands have been up so long that maybe it's the blood, moving in
Yeah.
my hands or something, because then I could feel it, and it was a crazy thing. But it took me a while of sitting there and focusing before I could feel it. But
Remember what I just said, that you can only believe in what you can believe in until you can believe in more.
right, yes,
And so for those of you that are listening, that are just now awakening and just now thinking, there's got to be more to life than this. You know, I mean, that's really it, right? There's got to be more to life than stressed out, working too hard, you know, going above and beyond in all of our affairs and not taking care of ourselves. That's not what we're meant to be doing here. You know, I developed this deck of cards with my daughter, Good Vibes Positive Affirmation deck, and they're gorgeous. And they're a great way to start. You can find them on my website, shamanisabella.com. If you scroll all the way to the bottom of shamanisabella.com, you can do your own reading for free. Like I just posted it up there, and you can shuffle the deck. It's so cute. I'm like, oh, wish I'd had this years ago, because we made these in 2016, I think. Or you could purchase them on Etsy. So we're going to pull a card right now. Just the spirit said, this card right now, after talking about energy and your hands. And I can see everybody at home going, is it working?
yeah.
Do it, do it, do it. It's just about, you know, if anybody knows who Ram Dass is, and if you feel, go find his book, Be Here Now, and how to be more present. Oh, I love this. I mean, I love them all, right? But the glare is not great. Remember the true essence of who you are. And then there's a little booklet that goes with it. It's an alphabet. And you go to remember the true essence. What is your truth? How do you see yourself? The truth of who you are is love. Many people are looking for love outside of themselves. Take a moment to do the inner work so you remember who you truly are. And then I have like 3 steps that people can take in a little. I'm a natural born teacher, so here's a pad so people can write their notes. But make a list of all the things you love about yourself. Keep the list in your purse or wallet. Whenever you feel down or depressed, read over your list. Add ideas so you can fall more in love with yourself daily. Affirmation, I am love. So when you make that list, you know, making a gratitude list, that's huge. Making I love myself list, you know. And how often do we get the time to sit or ask ourselves, write what I love about myself. Write down what you love about yourself and read it later. And remind yourself. But one of the cards in here is this one. Treat yourself like your own best friend. How can we begin to treat ourselves like our own best friend? Listen to what you say about yourself. You want to learn how to get in the present moment? Listen to what you're thinking. Just listen as an observer. Listen to what you're thinking. And if it's negative or unpleasant or you're beating yourself up, you say, cancel, cancel. I like to blow. I blow it all out, all my chakras. I blow it out. What do I want instead? I ask myself, how does this thought serve me? If the thought is not serving me, why am I having it? We're not raised or trained to believe this way, but this is the way out of the matrix. This is the way out of what everybody else is saying, what everybody else is doing, and what everybody else thinks of you. It doesn't matter. It only matters what you think of you. It only matters what you think of yourself. It does not matter what anybody else thinks of you, because they are not putting their head on your pillow at night. You are. So at night before you go to sleep, ask yourself, you know, what am I thinking right now? Where are my thoughts right before I go to sleep? And then shift them into something like, I love you. You did such a great job today. Tomorrow's going to be fantastic. And in the morning when you wake up, listen again. What am I thinking the minute I wake up? If it's not great, shift it. Only you can. And then say, wow, I'm so excited for today. This is going to be great. And then the ego mind will come in. The ego mind will come in and go, yeah, but you know that one person, or you know that one. Nope, this is not your time. 5 minutes before bed, 5 minutes when I wake up, this is my time. You don't get to run the show. I get to run the show. And that's the difference between listening and being present and really being conscious and aware and falling in love with yourself, and then just saying it and getting some healings and going on and still mind fucking. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy the way our minds work, Jared, and how much control we can actually have over them if we take the time to do it.
Yeah, I mean, all of that makes a ton of sense, and it's easy to get out of the habit of, like, I used to have a gratitude list and I'd read every morning, and I haven't been doing that for quite some time, right? So it's like, it's easy to just, I don't know, it's easy to get distracted by everything else and not take care of yourself. And
But what's more important? Writing an I love you list, writing an I love you letter, writing a list of the things, attributes that you really appreciate about yourself. I mean, you could do a lesson, right? You could also write the things you don't like and what you'd like to change. And then put, okay, I'm going to work on this, and I don't like this about my personality. I don't like that I get defensive when somebody tries to tell me about something. I don't like that I can be controlling. These are things that I personally work on. I personally work on listening without reacting, not getting defensive and triggered the minute somebody tells me something. Sometimes what they're telling me is a projection. Sometimes what they're telling me is truth. I get to sit and weigh that within my own spirit. I don't have to all of a sudden be like, no, it's not like that. You misunderstood. No, let the person talk, right? And control, how to, have control over every little thing in your life means you still haven't done that inner child work and done that inner child healing, where you don't need, that's just a self-preservation mechanism from a wounded child. Control. That's all that is. So love yourself through it. Oh, wow, I recognize that was controlling. I personally want to be a better person. I spent years not being great. So since 1991, I have worked very hard at being the best, kindest, most loving person I can.
yeah, I think that's I think that's the main, my belief is that's the main purpose, right? Is expansion. What does a typical day look like for you?
Well, it's changed. So when I was in the throes of it, a typical day for me would be 4 to 5 clients, would be a ceremony on the full moon, would be a class on a weekend, would be a trip to, take a group somewhere. 2020 changed that. I got back with the love of my life and we got married. 23, and I just recently turned 65, and he sent me to Italy, to Tuscany, for an intuitive painting course. And I came home and I can't stop painting. So I don't really see people in person. It's I mostly only work online. I do have a new person coming Monday, but you have to be referred from someone, and I have to either have worked on you in the past and then you can come in person, or I have to do a phone consultation and see if I feel, that it's my home, so the things have changed. But I'm open to spirit. I feel like spirit is changing me into, more on versus I have Awaken the Creator Within that you can get, which is a 6-week, 6-hour online course. And I have Detox the Mind, Body, Spirit, which are 5 separate videos. There's 15 videos in that one, about 20 to 30 minutes long. And I just bundled them all together so you can get all 21 videos for $222, where normally all. So my goal is to be able to reach more people internationally and locally through the online courses. And perhaps you asked me earlier, like, before we got on this call, what was the future? Perhaps doing a healer training like I used to, perhaps getting a group together and doing a hybrid where some people are in person and some people are online. spirit that that's something. Um, but I've been commissioned now. People want my paintings. So that to
Nice.
me, yeah, I came home and my clients were like, I want to buy that. Can I? Yeah. Can you commission? Can I commit? So what I'm noticing is like, I paint energy. So that's what's coming out of me and people are called to it. The two I did, I have a TikTok if you want to follow me at Shaman Isabella on TikTok. I posted one of the ones I did in Italy, and this woman said, "This brought me to tears. Can I buy it?" And I said, "No, no, it's the first painting I ever made. I'm not selling that." But there is a way to make really good prints, so I can learn. It's a whole new thing. I never wanted to paint. Never,
Yeah.
ever wanted to draw. Never, ever in my life. Nothing about it was appealing. I have sisters who paint. My grandfather painted. Never wanted to paint. Never thought I could. Never even, I might have. No, I thought maybe I'd try drawing, but I was terrible. I can't cut a straight line. Like, I judge. And I went to this woman named Flora in Tuscany, and she was just like, it's intuitive. Hold the canvas. They lit sage. It was a group of women. It was all spiritual and my vibe. And so fantastic. And I created two beautiful pieces. So I don't know. I think that might be the future.
Wow. Are you doing, is it acrylic or are you doing oil or acrylic? Nice. I painted for years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So
I haven't in a while, but yeah, so I'm very familiar with the replication, like you're saying, like G clay prints and
clay, I never say it right. Yeah, I want to do the go back, paint, go
I
do it.
I
There's a
need
reason
to.
you and I met, Jared. There's a reason you and I met. Like, I would totally carve some time out of your day and get yourself back on the canvas.
No, sadly, I have an easel. I have an easel set up with a painting. The last painting I was working on, and it's probably been. This is going to sound really bad because it's been sitting there for probably like 5 years. So that's how long it's been since I've
No, it's not
painted.
bad because this last 5 years, man, it's been rough,
Yeah.
especially if you're sensitive. This will make me cry. I just did a video on sensitive people, TikTok and on Instagram. I think Instagram is Shaman period Isabella, but and the Orange County Healing Center. And I have like 3 Instagrams. It's crazy. But that if you're overly sensitive, the last 5 years whacked you, you know. I mean, it made me not want to work anymore. It made me go, I don't want people in my house. I don't want you have to have been with me for a long time to be able to see me. I don't even think, I think the only thing on my website, I don't do house blessings and house clearings and go to other people. The only thing I have on there, I mean, I've done weddings, but the only thing I have on there right now is the one-on-one online session. Like and even then, if there are certain people I don't see, and I say, I'm not the person for you. Some people are so stuck. They don't want to get better. They think they want to, but they're not willing to let go of whatever that thing that they're attached to is. They just aren't ready yet. So perhaps they have to go see other people before they come to see me because I cut. I did a podcast years ago called Shift Your Shit with the No Shit Shaman because I don't mess around. Like I work very quickly. I cut right to the chase. I've been in the Amazon 3 times. I've been to Peru a lot of times. I lived a crazy, crazy life in Hollywood in the 60s. I lived a hard life. So I'm willing to work with those people that are willing to work with themselves and do the homework, do the inner work because you can recover. You can survive. You can make it. You have to really want to, and you have to work really hard at it. It's not like, oh, woo woo, spiritual. Well, I'm just going to do some light healing. No, hardcore. You know, we write and we burn. We journal and we burn. We take salt baths with baking soda. We stand in the sun early in the morning and do the sun gazing. we talk to the moon, we listen to the animals, we hug a tree. It's a beautiful life, but it's not for everybody. And some people are listening going, that's not for me. That's okay. That's okay. We all have our own thing. And religious, very religious people sometimes, and there goes a butterfly, a yellow butterfly, say hello. Really religious people can really have a hard time sometimes with it. And, tell me, oh, the deck of cards, I can't have a deck of cards. I can't. Okay, don't. It's okay. I'm not telling you anything. And then those are Christians that have come to me, or Catholics, and you help me make my God make sense, or you help me make my God. I had a student once who was on the verge of, she was going to kill herself. And after one session, she found her joy again and started coming in and started training. It's a long time ago. Very, very devout Christian. And she said, you made my God bigger. And that
Wow.
to me was like the most beautiful, I was doing a house blessing in, I'm 49% Ashkenazi Jew. So, I might look like the blonde Orange County shaman from Hollywood, but my DNA is deeply entrenched in something and whatever past lives I had. The rest is England and those places, but the 49% from Russia, Ashkenazi Jew, that is embedded in me. So I'm doing a house blessing in a Jewish home. The husband had just passed, and Jesus showed up, and I'm like, you can't be here. Like, it's Jewish. And I heard Jesus was a Jew, and I was like, oh, of course. Jesus was a Jew. Jesus wasn't a Christian. Like, the Romans made that religion up. So,
Right.
that's a podcast for a whole other time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just being open to spirit and listening and trusting. So if you're new and you're an entrepreneur and you're in this realm, the best advice I can give you is to trust yourself, believe in yourself. If you walk in to a place and it doesn't feel good, even if you paid your money already, walk out. Even if you do not get on the table, if you go for a healing and you don't feel good when you walk in there, just tell them, keep my money. It's okay. I'm not feeling it today. Do not go ahead and get. I've worked on so many people that have done that. Like, well, I'd already paid, and I just went, no, don't do that. Trust your gut, and if you're doing this work, trust your connection to spirit, and don't do something just because you think you should. Like I do a lot of cord cuttings, and I listen. If spirit says do not cut that cord, there's a reason. If it's to a husband and wife, or it's to a child and a mother, you don't just do it. You listen, you follow spirit. And if you don't feel confident, bring some more protection around yourself. Like, bump up, because I didn't feel confident in the beginning, but I opened the directions, and I believed in the ascended masters and the angels guiding me, and I believed in the jaguars around my property. And I always say, do you think you have to protect yourself? You have to protect yourself, but you do sometimes have to throw up some extra energy around you. But really do your own inner work as you're healing others. Sometimes you do it as you're healing others, but do your own inner work. Believe in yourself. Know that you have angels and guides that are not only to heal the spirit, but also to help you with the website.
Yeah.
There's also angels and guides that can help you with your business. So you ask, or your money, you ask specific angels. You don't need to know their name or whatever, but you say, whatever spirit guide and angel that's in the highest vibration, bring the information for me to know right now to move my business forward. And trust that it will happen. I did not even know how to make a Facebook when I started. That's all we had, right, in those days, 2009, or a website. And I learned how to do a website, and I learned how to do a Facebook, and I kept, it was a one-woman show. I now have an assistant that helps with I have a couple, and they help with the website, or they help with the newsletter and getting that out there. But, you don't have to spend a bunch of money.
Right. Well, and speaking about that and how you're talking about a business, one of the main things that I focus on, and one of the purposes of doing this is to connect people, right? And so that's why I like to go into some of the business, is because a lot of people either resonate, or they're experiencing some of the same things. And I've had many times where people asking me to connect, they want to connect with this person, and that they saw. So that leads into my next question is, what, as far as your practice goes, what's working well for you right now, and what's been frustrating?
I think social media for me is the most frustrating. What works best for me is word of mouth, and always has. I've been on the cover of magazines. I've been on YouTube shows. I've been on podcasts. I've written for magazines for years, for spiritual magazines. It's always my energy. My energy is what brings people. And somebody saying, oh, having worked with Shaman Isabella, sometimes the website, I switched over. I did a big switch in 2020, and I went from orangecountyhealingcenter.com to shamanisabella.com. And I did that because I felt Orange County Healing Center kept me trapped in Orange County. And I wanted, since I've been traveling the world overseas, I wanted to expand it, and felt like Shaman Isabella was the way. And it wasn't the best decision. I probably should have stayed with Orange County Healing Center. I still have it. I'm going to revamp it, make a one page with it, and let it feed into, because Shaman Isabella is extensive. There's so much there, the podcast and the blogs, and but yeah, the social media is probably the most challenging. Is get those. I'm okay with TikTok. Like, my daughter filmed me doing one with tarot cards. It has 130,000 views. Like, that's insane amount of views. But I didn't have my own deck of cards in that stack, because I wasn't making it to sell. I was just making it because I was actually pulling cards for my daughter. So I was pulling out all the decks in the drawer, and she's like, this is a TikTok. I went, Mom, and she started, and I have another one that has like 70,000 views that I made years ago, but mostly are, anywhere from 2 to 400. Has something come from that? No. Has something come from any social media? Not since Facebook shut down with the events things. They used to be really great with events and promotions and things. That's, so I think, especially for spiritual people, that's the most challenging.
Well, especially all the organic reach that used to happen on Facebook, right? That used to have a lot of just organic reach, but they want you to pay for everything, right? They want you to pay for all these advertising, and to market to the right people. And
I thought about paying, actually, for the courses, because the courses are still so good. I mean, not to toot my own horn, but they have healing in them. They have teachings in them. They have technique in them. They have, the mind, body, spirit. I did them both right around COVID. So spirit had been pushing me for years to do online, and I didn't have it in me. I moved so quickly, and I was doing so much here in person. And so 2019, right before COVID, I did Awaken the Creator for 6 weeks, and it came out really well. And then I think during COVID, I did the Detox Mind, Body, Spirit, and recorded those. So they're great. Like, the first one is like 20 minutes of how to get out of the negative mind and how to switch your thinking. And the body, the movement part is really for people who, it can be for any people, but it can be also for people who can't get out of bed or can't move, or they can just sit and move with me, doing the Gabrielle Roth 5 rhythm, which really expels a lot of energy. And then the last one, Spirit, Detox the Spirit, I wasn't sure what was going to happen with that. And it became all ancestral healing. So went through, and, and it works because it's energy. Okay. So it still works. It doesn't matter if it's the people there or me or the people that are going to see it in the future, because it's energy. It's still going. So there's grandfather healing, grandmother healing on both sides, father healing, mother healing. And I think it ends with personal healing because it's 5. So yeah, it was trippy. It was very powerful. And whether or not I could get the healer, I don't like calling it shaman training because it takes a lot to be a shaman, but was the golden condor, which is what they call me in the Amazon. So I called it the golden condor healer training. There is a desire for me to get that information out there so people can start working on their friends and family and maybe have a business if they want one day.
As far as that goes, of you know, basically, because what you're talking about is like your reach, right, and being able to be seen by the right people. Which metrics are you most focused on improving as far as your practice goes?
What do you mean metrics?
Well, like you mentioned, I mean, it sounds like you know social media is the most frustrating one, and I'm guessing, does that have to do more with that nothing comes of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of energy to go, like, you know, hopefully it's helping the people that are watching it. But what does metrics mean to you, like in a business sense?
Well, which you know, focus items I guess could help improve your overall goal with your practice. You know, like, so, you know, like, I guess, you know, I guess,
Well, I mean, what I have now is I have an SEO guy, and he
okay.
is cleaning up that back end that never was done when I made the Shaman Isabella website. I think that you know, the SEO and finding a way, you know, to get me out of Orange County and more, you know, more seen. But again, I work with spirit. So for me, it's like spirit had me seen huge 15 years ago. I mean, I did good 15 years of this on the front line. And I think spirit is kind of allowing me to be married and be a wife and paint and sort of take a back seat to being on the front line. Not that I'm unwilling to work. I am. I'm willing to still see people. But I think if I had my wish, and this might be buying ads, I don't know. It would be, if I had my wish, it would be that these courses took off, that, you know, that they got seen by enough people, that enough people said, hey, we really want you to do this healer training course. And, you know, and that through those courses, more people came. But again, I can feel the spirit hold me back, you know. I mean, I had a huge following, huge, before 2020. And then it was interesting to watch, like, 2012. So I worked really hard from 2009 to 2012. And 2013 is when, like, the really big international tours started. Before that, it was just Peru. But 2012, there was a huge influx of new energy, and a lot of kids woke up. A lot of people started waking up and doing this, and Goop magazine, and, you know, people were like, the wellness industry became huge. 2020, a whole new level of kids woke up. And these are the ones that are doing really well on TikTok and Instagram, and bravo. Like, I'm happy to pass the torch. I mean, I'm working, you know, Jared, but I'm 65. Like, I don't vibe with this, a lot of people. I vibe with who I vibe with, and it's energy, and those people that are attracted to me will come. But as far as me pushing, and yeah, I'm working on the SEO because I put a lot of time and energy into that website, and it's beautiful, and I want the courses to be seen. But having the kind of drive that I used to have, of like, what are the metrics? What are you doing next? And what are where's the next tour? And yeah, it's we're in this divine feminine being open to receive Aquarian energy. And so I know that Spirit wants me to sit back, be open to receive, and whatever shows up for me, just like you just came out of the blue and said, "Hey, want to do a podcast?" And I was like, "Sure, I'd
Yeah.
like to." That will show itself.
No, I think it's funny how it works that way. Um, so if you could solve one major challenge, which one would that be? That would be social media.
I think even more than social media, it would be getting these courses out. If I could solve one major challenge, the what's up for me right now is this package and getting that package out there.
Do
Because
you
people can they can purchase separately, right? So Awaken the Creator is 444 for those 6. And each 5 there's $66 for 5 videos. But grouped all together, they could get it for 222. And if that's too much for people, and they want to, it's like less than $10 a video when you buy them for $66. But it's what my grandson told me. This is what I have to do. He said, "Grandma, he's almost 20. He said, "Grandma, you have to make a VRL. I think it's a video recording something. It's a salesy video recording of what the classes are about." And he goes, "That's what you need. You need to make this video." And I'm like, "Okay, we'll see." Yeah. So that was my last business expert.
I
But what
mean,
do you have to say?
what's that?
But what do you have to say?
I mean, I don't think he's wrong. Yeah, if you did something like that and then had ads centered around that to get the exposure, then yeah, I think yeah that could be a really
That would be the ticket.
good route. Yeah, I do. I've and I agree with you that things have changed. Like I went from having a lot of engagement, especially a lot of organic engagement, and it just dwindled down. And plus, I was shadow banned during COVID, and I lost 20,000 followers on my Instagram, and just because I was talking about things that weren't popular, and um,
Oh, they hacked. I lost my entire Facebook.
you
15
did.
years. Yeah, they hacked me while I was on my honeymoon. And then my Instagram. So I had, all the followers from Instagram, all the followers from Facebook. And I just thought, Spirit doesn't want me there. It's okay. Like, just take a step back. For you, I don't know. I mean, there are unfortunately, a lot of people that get shadow banned.
Yeah,
But look at you, you're back up and running. So, can't keep you down.
no, yeah. I was, like I said, I was talking about things that were against popular belief, right? So, it was getting me into trouble. But it's funny now because now you can say all of those things and not get in trouble. But I mean, there was one time, for example, that all I did was I just shared a link and it was a Stanford study. I didn't say anything. I just shared the link and I got banned for 30 days. So it was, yeah, just like that, right? Like it was just, they didn't want certain information out there. I was really focused on, because one thing nobody was talking about during COVID was what are all the things that you could be doing. They just talked about all the things what you shouldn't do, and well, what about all these things you can do to help your health and to boost your immune system? You know what I mean? Nobody was talking about that. Like the media
Keep
wasn't
yourself from
talking
going
about it.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the sort of information I was trying to share, and it was getting me in trouble. So
I know. And not to go into too much, but I believe in order to keep the higher vibe around all of what's happening right now and what happened then, the only way to keep the higher vibe is to say, I know it's always darkest before the dawn. I know this has to happen in order for more people to wake up. I know that the chaos and the crazy, the COVID, it had to happen. It had to happen for people to wake up, for those who were ready to wake up. Not everybody's ready to wake up. But more and more people are waking up, and we've got protests in the streets. You know, things are happening. We are growing, changing, and evolving. We are in this new energy. We come out of the Piscean age. Piscean age was, I don't even know how long, hundreds of years in the masculine. We're just now coming into the feminine. So it's going to, you know, who knows? Cancel, it's taking hundreds of years, but, you know, it's going to take time for things to shift, grow, and evolve. So, you know, I hold space for a more beautiful world. I hold space and try to keep the conversation in a high vibe. And that, you know, when you look at it, just like when you look at your past, see it with gratitude, see it as an evolution of spirit. And this is exactly what the energy is supposed to be doing right now. And it will turn out okay. But
Right. Yeah.
It's hard work to keep that energy up because it's so, everybody's so impacted with the lower dimension that, you know, hopefully they're listening to your podcast and there's a seed that was planted and they're waking up a little and they're like, yeah, I don't want to be in this heaviness anymore. Then do the inner work. Start with yourself. You can't save the world until you save yourself. You got to put your own oxygen mask on first. You put on somebody else's. Do your inner work. See what frequency you're vibrating at. I did DMT a long time ago. I've done every plant medicine. DMT was the hardest. I wouldn't suggest it for anybody. But the good thing that came out of that was we are but one vibrational note in the universe. What frequency do you wish to vibrate at? So if you are one note in the universe, what song do you want to sing? What energy do you want to put out there? And do that and it will multiply. We have to do the inner work. It's the only way. If we keep focusing on what other people aren't doing or what other people should be doing or how the world's going to hell in a handbasket, then we're in the vibe with them. We're colluding with that energy. Over here, loving on ourselves, telling ourselves it's a magical life.
I 100% agree, right? You're either contributing or taking away from, right? So it's, yeah, I think that's great. I think it's a great mentality. There's a lot of things that, yeah, maybe we will have to do more. There's a lot of things that I still want to talk about, but
yeah, we could do another one. Sure.
Yeah,
I love it. Gives me a chance to speak.
Yeah, I think it's difficult when you're like, okay, we're gonna stick to, you know, this time frame on a podcast, right. And then you uncover all these other topics that,
or like a script. Like I'm gonna stick to the script. I'm gonna ask these questions. I'm gonna get to my point. No, it's sometimes.
Yeah.
You take a whole different direction. Like I didn't know what we were going to talk about today. Look at that. Came out great.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't know you didn't know what we were going to talk about.
No, it's not your fault. Like, I was moving so fast that I didn't really read. I just read, want to do a podcast? Yep. And then I didn't read. What were we talking about again? Yeah. But as long as we're talking about energy,
Well, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing everything. And yeah, I would definitely be interested in doing something in the future.
Sure. Yeah, you got it.
Perfect. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. If anyone wants to find me, shamanisabella.com. If you just put in Shaman Isabella, it'll probably come up the YouTube, the social media, the everything, the website. And I had a podcast. I have 22 episodes of Modern Shaman. My most popular is on cord cutting. So go check that out.
Perfect.
Thanks so much, Jared, for having me.
Thank you, Isabella. Appreciate it.
Okay. Have a great day.
You too.